Okay. If you want to know how well your government is doing, all you have to look is how prepared they are. What's their preparation like? How quickly can they decide on things? And if they have a long time to decide on things, how quickly does it take them to get it implemented? And you will not believe the announcement we heard today in Canada. So we've all been waiting. When is the Canada-US border going to open? We heard rumors today that the quarantine hotel was going to end for vaccinated travelers, which means I'd be able to travel to the United States when I'm fully vaccinated, come back, don't have to spend a ridiculous $2,000 in a quarantine hotel that does absolutely no good. And the government came out and said, we're working on opening up the restrictions, and here's what those restrictions are going to be. It's going to be people who are supposed to be here in Canada. So meaning people who have to be here on business, students coming in to study, and Canadian citizens returning home. Nothing about tourism, nothing about Americans coming to visit to help the tourism sectors in the areas that need it desperately. None of that. None of that whatsoever. Here, they said so, but they're going to lift the restrictions on the quarantine hotel if you've been fully vaccinated. If you haven't been fully vaccinated, then you still got to go to the hotel. So I said to myself, okay, well, that's all right. And then somebody asked a very good question. How are you going to prove that you've been fully vaccinated? And I thought to myself, okay, I guess I'm going to have a passport card or something. See, in the United States, when you go get your vaccine, they hand you a card that says you had your first dose on this and you had your second dose. We don't get that. We get an email saying that you had your first dose. And then hopefully you get an email saying you got your second dose. And so you're going to have to print out your email, I guess, and hope it has enough information on it that it's good enough at the border and good enough for security. But here's my question. They said, are you working on some kind of vaccine passport? Now, we've been talking about a vaccine passport here in Canada since the pandemic started. When all this is over, in order to travel, will we need some sort of vaccine passport? And the government kept on saying, yes, 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 yes. And so that's what they said this time. Yes, you're going to need a vaccine passport, and we're working on implementing one now with the passport office and the passport, and different provinces, and we're designing one. We're coming up. You're designing one? It's been 14 months. Has not one single person in the government thought, hey, maybe we should get this ready to implement when we open? Because as of now, they're saying they're going to lift those restrictions around the first week of July. But this vaccine passport won't be ready until maybe a month or so after that. Maybe. They haven't even gotten the basic design down yet. They haven't even talked to the other countries to see what they would accept. They haven't done anything. I'll give them the first few months. I'll give them the first 9 months. But in December, we knew we had vaccines coming. We knew the worlds are starting to vaccinate everybody. And so that should have been one of the first things on their mind. Hey, you know what? At some point, we're going to have to open the border. Because the pandemic's not just going to blow away into the wind. It's just not going to disappear. So if we're going to have international travel, we're going to have people back into the country, we're probably going to need a vaccine passport. Other countries are going to probably require that too. Maybe, just maybe, we should work on that over the next 5 months and have it ready so when we're ready to open the border and we're ready for international travel, and we're ready for international people to come into our schools and go back and study, and we're ready for immigration people, for people immigrating to our country, that we will have this in place. But no, no. God forbid they should be a forward-thinking government. God forbid they should think more than a press headline. God forbid they should think of more than what was in the news yesterday that I can comment on today. Because that seems all it is. That seems all it is. I guess the government was too busy increasing the carbon tax, trying to stifle the internet with Bill C-10. How can nobody in the federal government have thought six weeks ahead, 6 months ahead? We were thinking it months and months and months ago. Hey, if we get fully vaccinated, can we international travel? Will we need a passport? The government knew they were going to require it, but they couldn't think. They couldn't think ahead of time to think, hey, maybe we should get one ready. Maybe we should think about how we're going to do it. The transport minister, the health minister, both of them said, yeah, we're starting to work on that now. Congratulations. You're starting to work on something you've had 14 months to do. Talk about a government that is perfect in procrastination. I guess they're still getting their government handout checks, for not working, because I guess when they laid everybody else off in the country, they figured they didn't have to work anymore neither. God, I wish we could just say, hey, we have a competent government. But man, they certainly don't show it.